Right, there are 10 more games before the league stage finally gets over. So we're talking about match number 64 today, and it's a North Indian derby. It's Punjab versus Delhi. There's plenty to play for and plenty to chat about. And we have WV Raman in the house. Don't go anywhere. You'll want to watch this. I honestly feel like I've done 128 games, let alone 64. But nevertheless, let's introduce WV Raman on the show right now to get a cracking start to a cracking Monday. First and foremost, WV, how are we?
Yeah, doing very well, definitely, because it's all happening with the tail end of the IPL in place now. So we will see some excitement towards the end of it, as quite a few teams are vying for the knockout spot. Nothing is really decided except for the teams that are at 1 and 2, respectively, at the moment.
Yeah, and you've got what you wanted, which is, of course, making it all the more interesting for a lot of teams heading into this playoff race. We'll start with Punjab first and foremost. And a larger question, everyone, of course, after the auction thought they were going to really steamroll opponents. What has been their biggest worry this season? And going ahead, can they rectify it?
They've tried to rectify whatever the issues they encountered after the first few games, which has primarily been the inconsistent batting displays. If you look at the bowlers, they've been just below the 8 mark in terms of economy rate. Of course, Rabada has gone for a few runs, but of course, his pace, you would expect that to happen. It just fly really quickly to the boundary. So, that being the case, the bowlers have done well. The problem has been that they've not been able to find a settled batting order. And now with Mayank Agarwal also forced to come in the middle order, that gives you a fair indication of the kind of issues they've had in terms of not finding a fixed, proper, functional batting order for them.
Yeah, I was going to ask you who Punjab's most valuable player this season is. Is it Shikhar Dhawan, who you've, of course, spoken highly of in terms of that anchor role, or is it someone like Arshdeep Singh, who's gone under the radar but still has great numbers to show?
Yeah, I think the bowlers always tend to get overlooked. So it's not a bad idea at all to name him as the most valuable player because he's delivered whenever he's been called on to bowl. Yes, he may not have had a lot of 4 fours and 5 fours, but in a T20 format, the basic idea or the most important criterion should be the dot balls that he bowls and also the uh, economy rate of his, which is very important. And in that respect, he's done extraordinarily well. Mind you, he has not really been there for too long. Yes, he's had a couple of years of experience. He's a young man. He's on a learning curve. But if you equate his experience and his deeds, they mismatch, which is really heartening for me because somebody who's got relatively very little experience, he's done extraordinarily well, and that too against high quality batters.
Sometimes numbers don't paint the whole story, but in Arshdeep Singh and few stats there tells you how good the boy's been. Let's dot it on to Delhi next and speak about them because you've always believed that they have the firepower to qualify for the top four this time around. But at whose expense do you think?
There are 4 teams there still with an outside chance, but nevertheless, what the Capitals have to do is to try and win the remaining 2 games and then see how the other results pan out because there's always a chance that the Rajasthan Royals might falter. There's always the chance that RCB might make way for the Delhi Capitals provided they win the 2 games because their run rate is in the negative. So all these permutations and combinations can only be worked out, one, when DC wins both the games and then they're waiting for the other results, and two, other teams not doing well enough for themselves but doing things that are favorable to Delhi Capitals.
Yeah, speaking of Delhi Capitals, if you were Ricky Ponting, what was your biggest takeaway from this season so far? I mean, you look at the years gone by, they've always possessed a brilliant pace attack. They had Rabada, Nokia, and Avesh Khan. This time around, a lot of youngsters, but what is the biggest weakness for Delhi?
The middle order, obviously, they've been top heavy. Prithvi Shaw, Rishabh Pant, and Warner, obviously batting at the top of the order. Middle order has been a bit of a problem, but Paul has come good for them, which means that the Indian batters are not really fired for them. Lalit Yadav is not really done as well as the team management would have expected. So that is where the area of concern was. But I think despite all this, they still found Mitchell Marsh to be a very good asset for them. And let's not forget the fact that he did not play the first few games because of COVID and various other issues. Now, with him coming to the party in the last couple of games, I think that is also getting settled. So, if I were Ricky Ponting, I would be delighted with the fact that yes, they've found the formula, they've found the combination before it's too late for this season. And the following two seasons also look good because these guys who have been picked in the auction would stay with the Capitals for another 2 years. So that will also make me really happy about because I'm going to be dealing with a high quality team in the next couple of years as well.
And you look at those Indian core that they have, Shardul, Akshar, who haven't really fired, but of course, brilliant players on their day. So let's see how it really unfolds in the years to come as well. Let's just wrap up this match preview by asking your predictions, because I know sometimes you've not called it right, but nevertheless, I'm guessing it's Delhi for you again.
Definitely. I think you started gauging me better than I've gauged the teams and predicted results.
Yeah, I mean, it's a small sample size, but I'm trying to do my job as proficient as I can. But look, Delhi Capitals will certainly be the front runners in this one. Let's see if Punjab Kings can pull up a surprise and have their chances still going forward in IPL 2022. That's all we have with WV Raman in this one. Thanks so much for watching. It's a goodbye from me, Abni Shegde. We'll catch you soon.